Hi, I'm Ed Kelley, editor of the Oklahoman. The legislative session of 2009 has a real feel of 2010 to it. In some ways, what got done at the state capitals this year was to punt issues to next year. That's not unusual for a legislative body in Oklahoma, Washington, D.C., or elsewhere. But putting off issues to another time seemed to plague this legislative session. Some of it was by design, some by luck, and some by sheer procrastination. For example, what we'll see on the general election ballot in the fall of 2010 are issues that legislators either refused to tackle this year or couldn't work around an expected veto by Governor Henry. They include a voter ID measure as well as yet another term limit initiative, this time for officials elected statewide. There's more, including a questionable one that would make English as Oklahoma's official language. On another issue, the legislature, particularly Senate Republicans, more or less passed on a decision in 2009 to keep Senate Leader Glenn Coffey in place after he was dusted up on loan and tax controversies. That'll be an item before the session in 2010 to see if his fellow Republicans will want Coffey to remain as president pro tem for one more year. Meantime, a whole host of politicians of both parties in 2009 are eyeing the elections of 2010, when we'll have open seats for governor, lieutenant governor, and probably attorney general. Politicians looking for their next job is nothing new, but there was plenty of jockeying going on parallel to the session this year. Finally, the toughest choices of a budget for the fiscal year that begins July 1 were masked in part by the federal stimulus money. Some agencies took cuts, but others didn't, and a few pieces of state government even saw a small increase. So the tough decisions on cutbacks that might include drawing down on the state's rainy day reserve never really had to be made thanks to Washington. But there may be tougher choices that have to be made, you guessed it, in 2010. Because of the Capitol, it's sort of the old cry of a sports team, wait till next year.
Let's see it.